This
Yep.
conference will now be recorded.
Yep.
Oh, good.
I approve it.
Forgot to do that.
I approve it.
Okay. We have approved the February minutes for the Bikeways Committee. Has anybody given any thought to any projects for the OCRT in the coming year?
I like the idea of the fix-it station. I don't know what anybody else thinks. You know, again,
Well, the Friends of the Rail Trail, I think, are going to get 2 of them, but not necessarily one in Harwich. They were looking at Dennis and Brewster. So that would be, you know, good. They're nice. So,
Yes. Yes.
you know, they're very nice. But I forgot how much. They're like $2,000 now, I think.
If we were to consider it, would it make sense, guys, to have the same brand, same manufacturer, for lack of better words? Or does it, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't think it would make a difference.
Okay. You know,
Certainly the one that's there has lasted quite some time. Am I right about that? In
The
other
one
words,
in Chatham, right? Yeah.
the one
yes.
that
So it's somewhat vandalism proof. I shouldn't say that too loud. I realize that.
My advice is don't put it at the Rotary. That is just ground zero for, it's just too secluded, you know, and the police really can't duck in and out at night. And it really is a place to hang out.
You're right, Eric. It's probably the best place to put it as far as the trail goes, but
right.
It's the worst place for vandalism, no question about it.
Yeah.
Right.
We do.
Right.
I think we talked about it before, Brooks Park.
That's a good spot.
I think Brooks Park could be a good spot.
I agree. Charlene would like to have a bike safety day on the trail. She was thinking in the vicinity of Brooks Park and having the police present, checking helmets or talking to the kids, perhaps supplying helmets. And I gave her the lead of the Kiwanis Club. Anybody have know anybody on the Kiwanis Club? Because in the past, they've supplied helmets.
Yeah, I don't.
Me neither.
No.
Fran, the only thing I would mention is that you might encourage her to talk to the young lady on the Cape Cod Commission, Miss Medeiros.
Yeah, Colleen, right?
Colleen, yes.
Yeah. Sounds like we can't hear Jackie.
Right, I was writing her a note. You see it? How does it look? It looks backwards to me.
Yep. To get back to the fix-it station for one quick, how would we proceed? It seemed like everybody thought it was a good idea. How do we get money? How do we proceed with this action?
We certainly could bounce it off a link to see if he would be willing to fund it. Other than that, the CPC or some other grant.
Yeah. Because that seems like a lot of money
The
to
Cape Cod Commission,
ask Link for.
Yeah, especially they just paying for all that plexi, you know.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. CPC, you keep, those requests go in October, correct,
Right.
Paul?
correct.
So certainly, you know, we could follow through with that in October. I can work that up with Paul's help, maybe.
Yeah, but it almost seems too late. I'd like to be able to
Yes.
squeeze it in this year.
Right. I agree.
I don't know of any other grants that we can apply for. Maybe the Cape Cod Commission would be a resource.
You know, we could certainly send her an email and see what she said.
Okay,
And that would be Colleen.
yes,
Yes.
I'll take that lead if you want me to, that action,
okay.
and see how she directs me, if that's okay.
Okay. What do you think of Charlene's date of May 7th for that bike safety check?
That's a good day for me.
Charlie,
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yes,
when,
it could be a
when
good
you
day
go-
for me. I will be gone for most of April though.
most
But
of April.
but I'll be back on the Cape and in the beginning of May, so that'd be fine with me.
That's good. We can let her know that that's good. Just just a note about the events happening in May. May 1st, National Ride a Bike Day. May 16th to the 20th, Bike to Work Day. Remember that, Charlie, Bike to Work, May 16th.
What's work?
All right.
I'll opt for that one.
Hey, Fran, I know you were holding up a sign. I also sent Jacqueline a note. You guys see on the right-hand side of the Zoom meeting, the GoToMeeting home screen here, is you can send notes to people. For example, like a couple minutes ago, the public meeting person was sending us a note saying, hey, please
Oh, yeah.
call the meeting. Please call the
That's
meeting to order, because I guess we weren't doing it quick enough in their mind or whatever. So I sent Jacqueline a quick note just saying we weren't able to hear her. So if anyone ever wants to send a
Can you
note
hear
to the. Oh, we got you now. Perfect. Okay. I
Well,
was just going to remind everyone, if you ever need to send someone a note, just, okay.
yeah, where is the chat? I don't see the chat here. Well,
So-
whatever. You can hear me now because I'm open twice. One with camera and the other one with mic.
So it'll just have the little dialogue box up top, and it'll say if there's a message or two and you click on it. It's not a big deal, but I just was
No,
letting anyone know.
Oh, I see that where it says REC.
Could be.
Well,
I
I
just
don't know.
want
On
to
the
look.
left, on the left of the screen.
Well, on the sort of on the right at the top. I just wanted to let everyone know if they ever wanted to send a message to the group, if someone can't hear someone or something's going on, you type it in and it goes to everyone in the group. But I'll let Fran take over. We certainly hear you now, so we're good.
Yeah, we're good. I'm glad because I was so frustrated. I was here,
Yeah.
but here.
The
Fran,
next
I
item
got
on,
one quick question for you.
Sure.
It's kind of on topic. Last year there were somebody was going to install some drinking fountains, and one of the places I know was Headwaters. They did install a drinking fountain up in Orleans, okay, near the Chocolate Sparrow there. But I don't know whatever happened to the other drinking fountains.
I'll drop the chairman or the director of the water department a note and find out what his plans are. Well, Eric, we can see you.
Yeah, I figured it out. The town of Orleans put in that bubbler,
Okay.
you know, so
Yeah.
town of Harwich could put one in, but they're not cheap either.
From last year, I remember that Dan Pelletier from the water department was going to put in 3 rehydration stations, one being at Red River Beach, one being at Headwaters, and I forget where the third one was. But I'll drop him a note and see where he is on that project.
Yeah, I would think, and again, at Brooks Park, right at the bathrooms, you know, they could have signs saying water or whatever.
There is one right at the corner of the tennis court. Doesn't look too fancy. Hello, Alan. The next item on the agenda is news from the Cape Cod Commission. They have spring bike meetups, one in Falmouth, one in Chatham during April. And they were going to demonstrate some eco counter that they're going to use this year. I included that information in the agenda. I won't go over it, but under old business, I have state ethics. Has everybody checked off their name and sent it into the town clerk?
I did.
I did.
Good. She's leaving in May, I think. So I don't know how they're going to transition.
I think she may be gone as of now, Fran.
Okay. I know I had a problem with, in the past, I had to send a request to the assistant town clerk for the credentials to have this meeting. And I found out that I didn't hear from him, so I found out that he left. And then the person who was there didn't know how to do this, so she had to contact Channel 18. Alan, do you have any information on expanding the QR codes that to include bike shops, food options, historical info?
At the moment, no, I don't have any information. You know, adding bike shop information or other stuff. We're looking at listing them on there because, you know, the QR code is really just pointing to one destination. So ultimately, I think the more efficient approach would be to add information to the website. Because the same, you know, that's a fluid, editable creation, so to speak, right? We can make changes on the website and not have to actually make changes to any signage. With that said, I do believe that we had discussed in a prior call about adding maybe the Instagram handle. But I think that was for Cape Cod Rail Trail because I don't believe Harwich Bikeways Committee has an Instagram handle. So I might be, mixing up the two. So I think the very long answer is I don't think we should be changing the QR codes as much as we should be adding that information to the website.
Okay.
Which is, I believe, Cape Cod Rail Trail stuff, right? Does anyone feel otherwise? Because I'm happy to, I'm not trying to like duck out of something.
No,
No, I think you're right.
I agree.
hey, Eric, back a while ago, when we talked about painting a line down the center of the Cape Cod Rail Trail, you were going to supply us with names and addresses for state people that we could contact to see.
Put some pressure on. Yeah,
Yeah,
Paul Janegi and Dan Driscoll.
you want to
But
send us an
last
email?
I talked to Paul, he said he would be amiable to a dotted line, not a solid line, but like so that way people can pass. If you put a solid line, you're not supposed to pass legally. So sounds like more work for the guy installing, but I will send that to you, Fran, if you want to. And that would be good to give a voice to them other than me I appreciate that.
The next item on the agenda, we had discussed early about bike repair station at Brooks Park. I don't recall, Ellen, if Chatham said what it cost or if they had any information, if they were going to get back to us with information on that.
Sorry, Fred, I don't recall that. Who was it on our end that had been looking at the cost? Somebody,
Rick on the Brewster committee.
Yeah, that was a different one. We had a meeting with Chatham and we discussed it with them, and I thought they were going to get back to us, the committee, the Harwich committee, give us a price or a manufacturer, and I didn't hear anything. So I'll contact John. Was it last week or the week before we had a meeting with Chatham?
2 weeks ago.
Was it really?
Anything about a future meeting? Do it in June, May?
Sorry,
Should we
Fran.
have another meeting? Should we have another meeting with Chatham in May or June?
I think we had proposed when we left that call, and I followed up in the email, I had proposed we have a meeting. I think it was discussed in about a month. So I think it would be a good idea to have a follow-up. They're probably waiting on me to send them the proposal for the mileage markers, which I'm hoping to do this week. Which I'll do this week. Not hoping to do. I'll do it.
I have a question, Francis.
Sure.
Any news on repairing the bumps?
I didn't catch that. I didn't hear you.
Well, they're in constant need of getting repaired. Last year we had only a certain amount of money allotted, and they did the section in Eastham, which hadn't gotten any. The year before, Harwich and Brewster got most of that money. So I hear you. I just I do not have a paving people to go out and redo it. So I have to, again, it's Paul Janigy from the head of trails allots the money out to us. And he actually does the contract. So it's not in my purview to call up someone and go fix it, you know? I have thought of trying to get a ditch witch if I can cut the roots and maybe stop them from getting worse. So.
Okay.
Jacqueline, is there a specific area that you were referring to with your question?
No, overall, I think there is need to repair, you know, it's
Yeah.
very.
Yeah, it seems like, it probably comes as no surprise in this call, the stretch between 124 and what is that, Elm Street? That sort of runs behind City Hall, Town Hall, is probably the worst section of any of the rail trail on the OCRT or the Cape Cod Rail Trail, as far as I can tell. Would that even fall under DPR, Eric? That would be a Harwich thing, right?
Yeah, was that the OCRT? Yes, that would be Harwich.
Yeah. I'm riding, easily 100 miles a week, and then running, another 50 miles a week. And the only section where I feel like it's actually arguably dangerous is the very short stretch between Oak Street and 124. That's maybe a 1/10 of a mile. And it's,
Well, I will gladly pass that on to Boo and Ling,
Okay.
I know they were doing some work last year up at the Rotary. Or just before the Rotary, they were going to tear up some of the trail. I don't know how far they got with it, but it was marked in pink, the sections that they were going to replace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did some sections there from the Rotary up to 124. That was pretty smooth. I just been traveling that.
Yeah, there are a few stretches that have been redone through there, and there was also, I believe, a new set of railings put in.
Yes.
Very recently, like within the last month or two.
Yeah.
Who is it that paints the heaves on the CCRT north of, like up in Eastham and Orleans and stuff like that? Is that you guys?
Well, that was our bike path ranger did that last year.
Those are helpful. They're really helpful.
Yeah, and we'll probably redo them because it fades, because until they pave, at least it gives people a heads up. So I don't want accidents,
Yeah.
Right.
They're very helpful. Guys,
Eric, whatever.
sorry for arriving late. Did anybody talk about the Harwich Elementary School bike radio that's tentatively scheduled, or actually I believe it's now scheduled?
No, we didn't.
May 7th?
But in the past, they've done the Harwich Elementary Bike Rodeo in the past. And in the past, I reached out to the assistant principal at the Harwich Elementary School, and I was told that it was strictly a school project. They didn't want any outsiders helping them, or it was like a visit sort of thing that the school was doing, and they didn't want any outsiders coming into the school to do anything with the kids.
Well, how about I read a quote directly from Holly Tavano at Harwich Elementary. She's the Harwich Elementary School nurse. I've been on an email chain with her, and then Rachel from who manages the Safe Routes to School program down here in Cape Cod, Rachel McCaffrey. And Holly writes, historically, we have had many community partners involved with this event: Harwich and Chatham fire departments and police departments, libraries from both towns, recreation departments for both towns, our local public health nurse, and we have had the PTO assist monetarily with snacks and arts and crafts table. I would love to have a meeting, share some ideas. So I reached out to her and said, you know, I was introduced to her as a member of the Harwich Bikeways Committee. I clarified and said, look, I'm not actually on the committee. I'm just very active with the committee. And I'm especially interested in the Safe Routes to School program and having the program include paths access to the OCRT via Harry's Path Road off of Main Street. And so that's how the dialogue has started. There was definitely it was not a cold reception, it was a warm reception. So, you know, my next step was I was planning to introduce her to, you know, to everybody here via email. Brandon, would you prefer that I just hold off on that and make sure that they're actually cool with their involvement first? Or? Okay.
We discussed at the beginning of the meeting, Charlene's idea to have a bike safety day at the trail at Brooks Park on Saturday, May 7th.
Yep.
And maybe you could mention that in your email to the school, see if we can get more kids to come out for that.
In fact, when I spoke with Rachel on the phone, and I had told them that I was going to suggest to the Harwich Bikeways Committee that the event at Brooks Park be scheduled like 11 to 1 or 11:30 to 1:30, so that there's a little bit of overlap, but not direct conflict with the bike rodeo. You know, to give, you know, parents an opportunity to bring, you know, join us at Brooks Park as well. I think it would be good, you know, whether it's me or somebody else, it certainly would be good to, you know, have a good understanding of what's happening at the bike rodeo, what's not happening, and see if there's a way to, you know, collaborate and, you know, do a 1-2 thing.
Very good.
So I'm happy to assist and be a liaison until something more formal occurs.
That would be great.
Okay.
That would be great.
Fran, I got a comment for Eric. The paint that Bernie used seems to be lasting longer than other times when he has done it. So if you changed to a specific paint, you made a good decision.
Eric, you're muted. If you're talking to us, we can't hear you.
Oh, I think it was Rust-Oleum, but yeah,
It's still,
I will get more.
yeah, it's still pretty bright. It's in the past, it's faded off pretty quickly.
A lot of those inverted marking things are meant to go away within a month, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get permanent ones, which would be very expensive paint. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
We talked once about when I was driving.
And Paul?
Yep.
At the Chatham meeting, we discussed having a phone number that somebody could, a rider could call if he encountered a problem on the trail. And not you, but, you know, like Link or somebody from the DPW.
Mean a problem such as broken
Vandalism.
branches, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, my thoughts would be, as much as I probably don't want that, but it'd probably be better for me to channel it to Link, because I don't think Link wants everybody calling them.
Right.
Right.
That's what I was getting at. Yes. If you could drop a note to Link, to ask him about, tell him that we had a meeting with Chatham, and this is one of the items that came up was a phone number
Yeah.
in case, and Chatham's going to have one also.
Sure. So, but that, I lost you a little bit. So that would be, how would people know what number to call?
I don't know how we would publicize that number.
Okay. Yeah, that means my cell phone gets publicized.
Yeah,
Well, Paul, so the conversation was on, it was on the topic of vandalism and specifically the spray paint. And, to be blunt, we talked about how quickly the graffiti has been addressed in Chatham versus
yeah.
how it hasn't been addressed here in Harwich. And so, the idea was thrown out there of possibly having a hotline, sort of like a 311 we have in Boston, where, and maybe it's just like a flyer that we have at a couple of the locations. And this is the hotline. This is the number that you call to report vandalism or some, obstruction on the path that's dangerous. And from there, it gets channeled to either Harwich or Chatham. It's in Boston.
Well,
Used to be one,
you can
it's
just
very
call
popular.
Harwich DPW, and that would be a good number to call. And they responded. I went down the day that I got an email about it, and we
Yep.
made an effort. And I put in about 4 hours grinding. So it's tough in the winter to paint over because it was cold. But we went out when it warmed up and tried power washing, and it got a lot of it off, but not totally.
Eric, are you referring to the stuff that was on the retaining wall by the Rotary?
Yeah.
Yeah, that came off very quickly. Kudos to you. I think the topic during the joint meeting was more along the lines of there's bike with a smiley face spray painted on at least two locations on the OCRT.
Okay. Well,
remained there for several weeks, and it was the
I
same.
think he does know about that. So, but I can't speak when they're going to get it.
I mean, as far as vandalism and graffiti goes, it's the least offensive ever because it says bike with a smiley face.
Unbelievable. The kid I know it. There was no profanity. And they went all the way to 134. Though the one at 134 might be different because it didn't have any words like bike.
Yeah, now the bike with the smiley face was at the Rotary, and then it's on two sections of the OCRT between the Rotary and I think 124, or it might extend right by Brooks Park.
Well, he did by Thatcher's Bog on the CCRT and by Bell's Neck.
Oh, they did?
We still have, yes.
This is the bike smiley face.
Bike smiley face with the really ugly color green.
Yeah. What a
or the orangey pink. Yeah.
So are you saying that they should use a better color, Eric?
No, actually, I'm glad it wasn't profanity because that way, even if you knock it down and fade it, people are going to be forgiving. But profanity, you got to get rid of it right away to some degree. I'm still going to try to the quickest method is to paint over it with fast drying paint. And I don't know what else. We talked about putting game cameras up by the Rotary. So it'd be nice to catch the kid. I bet it's the same kid who threw the bollard into the pond. It was taken off again, the bollard down actually at 134. So this could be a year of a lot of negative behavior, shall we say?
Yeah, could be.
You
Well,
know?
we also, on at 124 too, the first time in a long time, probably the same kid ripped off the map box completely. It's gone.
Yeah. I took the screws out of the rotary that held the map box because they were just there with no wood. Yep.
Yeah.
So no one jabbed themselves.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Alan, just feel free to always call me and let me know anything on the trail. I'll do my best.
Thank you, Eric. And to be clear, you're talking about the CCRT, right?
Well, that's what I can do, yes. But,
Yeah.
I could, I know Bo, I can give him a call and pass it on. He's going to go for some surgery. He hurt his back, so he might be out for a little bit.
Okay.
Plus I heard from Link, he was telling me he's down 3 people.
Yeah. Well, they have a lot more than we do in the park, I got to tell you. They came out and they had like 4 guys, and it's just me and Susie, actually, who's the supervisor up in Wellfleet. So we're going out tomorrow and putting every body of water, we're naming it with a hand routed brown with white lettering. So this way people will, maybe it'll be some way, oh, I'm by Long Pond. Oh, I'm by the Herring River.
Nice.
And East Reservoir. And so, because there's, I don't know about the mileage redo. They still have the granite ones. And I tell you, I've tried talking to the state about the bad kiosks out of date. And he sent me a PDF that was done to do new kiosks, but it's already out of dated because it doesn't show the Wellfleet section. It does the Yarmouth. But it got canned. They never built them. They never, so I just got the PDF. That'll do me good. So I might put up a couple more old ones where I put red and continue the trail to where it is in red paint, So.
I don't have it. I don't have anything else. Anybody else have any comments?
I do, Fran.
Okay.
You had asked me if there was signage along the rail trail that would point people towards Coast Guard Beach and the Salt Pond Center. And there is signage on that street, and I think the street is Locust Street.
Yes. Yes, there is. Yep.
And there's a bunch of new signage that says restrooms and bike repair shops. So the signage just looks pretty good.
Okay. Thank you. Well,
well, she went to the intestine and said that it's hard for her to digest wheat and corn, working in corn. So not that you have to give it up, but you more of other things. Yeah. You can't just eat a lot of things. More than 50% of your daily intake. I know,
I'm really bad about vegetables.
Yeah, we're pretty
I
good.
think that's background audio from Eric's microphone. I don't think that's anything to get your attention.
I was wondering where it was coming from.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything else, but the next meeting is for April 19th.
Okay.
Well, thank you all for attending. Great seeing everybody again.
Thanks for coordinating.
Yep.
Yep.
Take care. Thank you.